Good morning. Good morning. My name is Reverend Ron Card, and I would like to invite each and every one of you to our Sunday morning message. This message is sponsored by the Centers for Spiritual Living, Carlsbad, in Carlsbad, California. But we're actually filming this in my living room. Actually, it's in my dining room, and we're in Oceanside, California. So I would like to welcome you into my dining room. Our monthly theme for this month for the month of December, is open to possibilities. Think about that. Open to possibilities. This morning, we're going to continue talking about opening ourselves to the many possibilities that are in our lives. My the name of my talk this morning is the light of a new dawn. I like that. The light of a new dawn. And I'm really excited to talk about this morning because I have some changes coming up in my lives and I will share them with you, but it's going to be a little later on in my talk. But as I have mentioned in previous talks, my last one, this is also the month that we take a look back on how our lives have unfolded this year. How has your life unfolded? Is it the kind of life you really enjoyed living? Were there things that you want to see different? What seeds have you planted to, make things happen or to allow things to happen for you? And those are the things that we're going to really kind of take a look at, because it's those things that give us a perspective on the direction that we are going. Our journey for this year is coming to an end. We're in our last month. The last month is December. And we also know that as we come to an end for this year, it is simply the beginning of what is to come in the new year that is just ahead of us. It's just around the corner. In fact, in probably 2 weeks, it's going to be the new year. And we are looking for the fruit that we have planted. We have planted through this year and maybe even previous years. This is the time that we sit in silence and we become really quiet and we just be with ourselves right here and right now. And we listen to that still small voice as it speaks, giving ourselves over to the mystery. Sounds like a movie. Gives ourselves over to the mystery as to what is to come, what is going to unfold for us. Sometimes we don't see the big picture. We only see small fragments. Dr. Ernest Holmes says from the Creative Mind and Success and also from the Science of Mind textbook, he says that every person is surrounded by a thought atmosphere. This mental atmosphere is the direct result of thought, which in its turn becomes the direct reason for the cause of that which comes into our lives. So, really, what is he thinking? What is he saying? Thought is powerful, it's almost like a magnet. I believe that through this teaching, Science of Mind, that thoughts are things. Not just some thoughts, but all thought. If you really sit and you really think about this, you too will realize that your thoughts attract what comes into your life. I mean, how much more powerful is that? Our thoughts and our ideas that we get is spirit speaking to us, nudging us along. I mean, just think about that for a minute. Because when you are quiet, or even when you're doing something, all of a sudden these thoughts come up. Where do you think they come from? This is the spirit in you speaking, and we must tune into that. We must be open to listen. We are the ones that have to connect the dots for ourselves in our lives. I know sometimes it's easy if we could let somebody else do that, but you know what? You can't. You are in control of you and no one else. And you have to connect the dots to your life. No one else, no one else can do that. Each are going in a different direction. And it's interesting on how our paths are interjoined, and we cross over. We might meet this person for a while, and then we might see that person, or this might come up in our lives, and then something different. Everything is just kind of crisscrossing. We each are visionary leaders of our own lives. As this year fades into the new, as the night suddenly becomes dawn, what is the chorus that sings the song for you? How would you like your life to go? What do you think you would like to see unfold in your life? What seeds have you planted, you know, earlier this year or even just recently that are going to, flourish and maybe in this new year? Each day is a brand new baby day. What happened yesterday? That's yesterday. What happens in the future? That even hasn't happened yet. So each new day we have is a brand new baby day. What magic does the sunrise offer you? How are we called, or how are you called to fulfill the promise of that vision, or maybe that new vision that just popped up? There are so many things to really think about. During this month, we have the opportunity to fill our hearts with gratitude and enthusiasm as a new day breaks. And we have a moment to collect ourselves before our journey continues. It's almost like we can pause, we can step back, we can take a breath. Yeah. I believe that life is God or spirit unfolding into more of itself. The only way that spirit can experience life is through us, through each one of us. And I believe that God is within each one of us. In this teaching, Science of Mind, it teaches us that the ultimate goal of life is complete freedom from all discord of every nature. And this goal is sure to be obtained by all. Just think about that. If this is true, and I really do believe it's true, how powerful we all are. I don't think a lot of us recognize the power that we have. You are the unique, divine, perfect, unrepeatable way of life of God. As you live from this consciousness, you manifest joyous possibilities and unified conditions in your life, in your existence. It is through right thought and belief that you greatly influence your environment. Let me say that again. It is through right thought and belief that you greatly influence your environment. You can influence in a positive, in a creative way, in a way that unfolds treasures for you. Or you can do just the opposite. Your thought is magnets. We need to ask ourselves as to what kind of thoughts we are thinking. When we think bad thoughts, when we think thoughts of hate, when we think thoughts of lack and limitation, when we blame, when we get angry with people, you know what? What kind of thoughts do you think you're manifesting in your life? And it will manifest in your life because thoughts are magnets. Whatever you're thinking, whatever your thoughts are, you're manifesting that in your life. Think about that. And we must release the weapons of mass distraction because that's what those are. When you get angry with somebody, when you get frustrated, when you get down on yourself, these are all distractions keeping you from your good, keeping you from your truth. And we must live from our divinity now. It is good use of our divine humanity to learn from past experiences. Be present and plan for your future. You know, we just spend so much of our time living on automatic pilot. How many times have you ever caught yourself driving down the road and all of a sudden you realize you're farther than you thought you were? You don't remember going past. Well, that's how sometimes we live life. We live a large portion of our lives unconsciously in order to attract freedom from discord, in order to attract more in our lives of the types of things we want. What we have to do is begin to live life more consciously. We spend so much of our time trying to control instead of listening. We need to listen to that voice within, not control it. We don't tell God what he needs to do. What we do is we listen. God will talk to us. God will nudge us forward. Things will unfold in our lives that we just didn't think were possible, but we have to allow it to happen. We can't control it. I talked a few minutes about there are some things in my life that are changing, and I'm having a big change. And I want to start at the beginning so you're kind of caught up on what's going on here. Back about 6 years ago, I planted a seed that actually is just now manifesting in not only my life, but my wife's. My wife, Linda, and I, what we did, we purchased this manufactured home that needed a lot of work. And I'm here to tell you, it needed a lot of work, not just a coat of paint and it looks great. I mean, we bought it from somebody who was on drugs, and he sold the doors in the house, and he sold cabinets, and who knows what else. But anyways, the place was not in really, really good shape. And, we had to do things like I've had it repiped. I've had a new hot water heater. When we bought it, it was 19 years old. It's luckily still working. The pipes that we replaced were galvanized piping, and they were 40 years old. And boy, the water pressure was really bad. And we had a new heating and air conditioning. I've had to replace the floors. I've had to pull the acoustic out. It was cracked. It was, in really bad shape. As I said, I had to put all new doors in. The electrical work was a nightmare, but we finally got it straightened around. There was just so much work we did on this place, and it did need a lot of work. The thing is, we had very little money, but we felt that, kind of like over time that we could change this place. We had a vision on what we wanted to do, and over years of prayer and visioning, our vision came to be. We both went to work, and the extra money we were getting, we would put right into our house. We sacrificed a lot of time and money, but we knew what it is we wanted. We are about to make changes in our lives that we did not see coming. We didn't even expect this. In August, Linda and I began talking about the housing market and what people were kind of getting for their homes. I'm sure many of you have heard about what they call the bubble. This was you put a house on the market, and within 24 to 48 hours, you were getting 2 and 3 and 4 bids on it. I mean, people were getting more for their homes than it was worth. And that's the way the market was at that bubble. Well, we kind of came in at the tail end, but anyways, we were very curious as to what the value of our home was and the value that we added to it over the years that we had been here, and especially a lot of the things that we had done to it. So we called the realtor. Now I'm going to call this realtor Fritz. And Fritz is a good guy. You know, he saw the house when we first bought it. I mean, it was a nightmare. And we picked it up for a really good price. But anyways, it was a nightmare. When we called him and we told him what we wanted to do, first thing he said to us, because he's seen it before, he said, you know, the more you do to the house, the more you're going to get for it. So anyways, we invited him down and he went through the house. And when we sat down to get an idea of what he thought our house was worth, both Linda and I were stunned as to what we could sell our house for. And he was stunned when he came to look at the house. When he walked in the front door and walked through it, I mean, for the first few minutes, he didn't say a word. He just kind of looked and his eyes got big. And when he sat down with us, he just said, I can't believe this is beautiful. He said, you did a phenomenal job, which made us feel good because it complimented all the work and all the time that we had really put into this. Well, after he told us what we could sell our house for, and believe me, I, in my wildest dreams, couldn't believe it. Well, our house is in escrow right now, and it closes the early part of January 2022. And the thing of it is it gives us freedom. You know, we bought this house with the idea that this was going to be the last house. I mean, we've moved many times, and we just figured this is going to be the last time. That's why we visioned it as to what we wanted and how we wanted the house. But, you know, it's interesting on how things change. You know, like we'd see little bits of the picture. We never see the whole thing. That's the way spirit works. I mean, gosh, you know, we just, you know, it just was very interesting. So here we are selling our house and we're going to move. We're going to move back to Knoxville, Tennessee. You know, our son has wanted us to come back to live near him. And now this makes it possible. Not only does it make it possible, but we can move back to Tennessee, we can buy another home, and we can have some good money behind us. Something we didn't think we were going to have here. But we were willing to make do. You know, this all happened from a seed that we planted 6 years ago. You know, like I said a minute ago, many times we just never see the big picture. We see small increments of what it is we want, but you know, you can't control it. What you have to do, you have to be open to it. And here we are. You know, that is why it's so important to take time to reflect on the seeds that you have been sowing and listen to that voice within. You know, if it hadn't been through the prayers that we did, the belief that we could do this, the support of many of our friends, the Center for Spiritual Living Carlsbad. I mean, you know, I'm just still blown away by this. It's exciting because this whole thing is exciting. Some things are going to unfold that we still don't know all the answers to, but it's going to be fun. I'm sad on the other hand because we're leaving this area. We're leaving our center, the Center for Spiritual Living Carlsbad. I'm leaving the people that I've really gotten to know in our center, and they will always be in my heart. I cannot thank Reverend Dr. Maddie. We went through ministry school together. She supported me in this center. And Reverend Kate, who supported me and supported whatever it is that I wanted to do. and show me no new ways to practice my ministry. And Reverend Debbie, I mean, you know, these people will always be in my heart. And I'm sad to leave because I leave them and the many friends that I have. But, you know, it's time to move on. We are constantly searching for who we are. And the question is, who are you? Who are we? What you do and what you say now will directly impact your life in days and in years to come. And this demonstration is a demonstration of that. What you need to think about, how you treat yourself and how you treat others, are stepping stones to your future. And this is why we need to take the time to step back. We need to take inventory. We need to see the direction we're going. Life can be exciting, but you got to remember, you make it exciting. How do you look at the person next to you or in front of you in a line at the bank or the store, or when you're in line getting gas? What you think matters. What you believe matters. That is why there is a light of a new dawn coming for each and every one of you. I want to thank you for listening this morning. I hope you have a good holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. This is my last talk for this year. And I don't know what's going to happen this next year. As I say, there are things that I'm just taking this one day at a time, and it's exciting. And I hope your life is just as exciting. Thank you and happy holidays.